Her mother died of a stroke 48 hours after receiving the J&J vaccine, and she wants answers. That's because the death certificate lists the vaccine as a contributing cause of her mom's death. Amanda Lamb has been looking into the case and joins us live from Raleigh.
Deborah, Becca Engel is understandably devastated by her mother's death 2 weeks ago, shortly after getting a dose of the COVID vaccine. And she wants to know if there's a connection. The Department of Health and Human Services confirms for us the state is investigating this case, and so are we. As a college professor who worked in person with her students and spent lots of time caring for her two grandchildren,
she was just the best person.
63-year-old Virginia Ellington was counting the days until she could be vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have texts from her saying how excited she was to get it.
Ellington's daughter, who lives in Chapel Hill, tells WREL her mother and father got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on the morning of Monday, March 8th at the Watauga Health Center in Boone.
Like my dad said, she was feeling very tired. She even asked him, what are the side effects of the vaccine?
Ellington went to work Tuesday but was still feeling unwell, according to her family. On Wednesday, March 10th, she stayed in bed. A little while later, her husband returned to the bedroom to find her unresponsive.
He tried giving her CPR and called 911, and they said she was gone when he got there.
Engel tells WREL the family was told by the local doctor who did a preliminary examination that her mother died of a stroke. The local medical examiner, a paramedic, and a teacher who signed the death certificate wrote that the vaccine was one of the, quote, significant conditions contributing to her death.
We were all shocked when we saw that that was even on there, that it said J&J vaccine.
Engel, who is an online influencer, posted her mother's story on TikTok, raising the question as to whether there could be a link between the vaccine and her mother's death. The post has had more than 4 million views.
It just breaks my heart that, like, this is what, happened, and this is what it takes to share her story. It definitely escalated things. Whether she was going to have a stroke in 30 years or she was going to have it now, it definitely triggered it.
Engel's post has gotten mixed reviews. TikTok even placed a warning on it. Engel says her mother was in good health prior to her death. Did your mom have any underlying conditions that she was aware of?
I mean, high blood pressure runs in her family, strokes run in her family.
The vaccine is appropriate for everybody, independent of their family history or their personal history.
Dr. Stefan Moll is a medical professor, researcher, and hematologist at UNC. He believes connecting the vaccine to a stroke is a rush to judgment.
I think that was an assumption that should not have gone into a death certificate.
According to the CDC, 795,000 people in the United States have strokes every year. North Carolina has one of the highest rates, 26,000 per year or 70 per day.
Some people will develop a stroke and have had the vaccine, but that's a coincidental occurrence.
So far, the CDC has found no evidence of a connection between the vaccines and strokes. But Moll says the only way to know for sure is to do an autopsy.
So I'm a big proponent of doing autopsies to learn things and not just to assume things.
The State Department of Health and Human Services has referred Ellington's case to the Office of the State Medical Examiner for an autopsy. They gave us a statement which says, in part, the death investigation for this case is in the preliminary stage, which is why the death certificate says pending. After an autopsy examination by one of our regional autopsy centers, the preliminary results do not show that this death was related to a vaccine or vaccination. The final state medical examiner's report could take several months to complete.
Everyone's having their moments and grieves differently, and breaks down.
A painful process for a daughter seeking answers.
Again, I'm not here to say, you shouldn't or shouldn't take it. I'm just saying, raise awareness. You should check on your loved ones if they are getting it.
If that is even an association, it's a rare one. It should not sway away anybody from getting the vaccine.
Now, we did reach out to Susan Hawkins. She is that local medical examiner who signed that pending death certificate and put the vaccine on the death certificate. She referred us back to the Department of Health and Human Services. We also reached out to Johnson & Johnson, and they tell us there is no greater priority than the safety and well-being of the people we serve. We carefully review reports of this nature that involve individuals receiving our medicines, or in this instance, a vaccine. They go on to say that all of these cases are reviewed by the FDA during the vaccine rollout to make sure all of the vaccines are safe. And again, that report, that autopsy report, Deborah, is not expected for 60 to 90 days. But hopefully at that time, Ingle and her family will get the answers they're looking for.
Thanks, Amanda. Recognizing this story may generate a lot of interest, the family is asking for privacy while they mourn.